Hi, 8th graders. This is Chapter 24 in Religion, Part 2. I will be reading aloud and elaborating on pages 228 to 230. A precious gift. If your sexuality is precious to you, if you want to use it someday to show a unique, deep love for one special person, you will not take chances with it. You will avoid people, places, and situations that may tempt you to be untrue to yourself, and perhaps untrue to a person God has planned to be your lifelong partner. We do have a saint to look to for purity, Saint Maria Goretti. The Goretti family worked as tenant farmers for the landholder Serenelli in Rome. To Maria Goretti, not quite 12, 18-year-old Alessandro Serenelli was like her big brother. She was terrified when he suddenly made sexual advances toward her. Maria struggled and begged him to stop, crying out, "It is a sin. God does not want it." Because she resisted, Alessandro stabbed her 14 times. Even in her fear and pain, Maria forgave him before she died. The next day, July 6th, 1902, in prison, Alessandro had a dream that Maria offered him 14 lilies, saying, "Alessandro, I forgive you, and one day you will be here with me." He repented. Released after 27 years in prison, he went to beg forgiveness from Maria's mother. She forgave him, and he died a holy man. God does not ask us to die, rather than to submit to someone sexually. If Maria had been forced to have sex, she herself would not have sinned. In an extreme way, Saint Maria Goretti teaches us how precious God's laws are. She did not want her friend to sin. She was a true namesake of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the woman called Mother Most Pure. And I know there's a movie about Maria Goretti. Some of you may have seen it already. It's very, very good. Making responsible choices. You can control what you do by making responsible choices. You can become a whole and holy person by making choices based on what Jesus teaches you. With His help, you can make responsible choices. Jesus teaches you that to be a whole and holy person is to be unselfish in all of your choices. He challenges you to make responsible choices about love and the gift of sex. I've seen this referred to as joy, J-O-Y, Jesus, others, then yourself. That makes you very selfless rather than being selfish. Obstacles to wholeness. Jesus gave us directions for the use of sex that we may become whole and holy people, but we can choose not to live up to our human dignity. We can be self-centered and fail to make Christian choices in matters of sex and love. We can use drugs and alcohol, which dull our human power to make and carry out good choices. We can make wrong choices so often that we become numb to the evil in them. Two attitudes toward sex are particularly dangerous: using sex selfishly and considering sex as entertainment. Some people use sex selfishly. They want to enjoy sexual pleasure without the total gift of selfless love in marriage. A sin such as fornication, engaging in the sexual act before marriage, is seriously wrong. Masturbation, self-stimulation to arouse sexual pleasure, and homosexual activity, sexual activity with someone of the same sex, are also not permitted by the Church. Some people see sex as entertainment. TV, videos, the internet, advertising, and movies often give the impression that sex is meant just for fun. Casual sex is far from the intention of God. As long as sex is seen as entertainment, serious evils such as pornography and prostitution will continue in our society. As God intends. Discuss the following examples. How can these people use sexuality as God intends? Please pause, read those to yourself, and think about how all 4 of those can use their sexuality and make good choices. Look to Jesus. Jesus gave us the greatest, most unselfish example of love possible. His life and death show us what it means to be a Christian who really loves and cares about others. We cannot give our lives as generously as Jesus did, but we can be unselfish in our actions, in our choices, and in our relationships with others. Making sacrifices by thinking of others rather than ourselves is a way to start. The box there, Helps to Wholeness, 8 tips that are very, very important for you to become a whole and holy person. Growing up whole and holy is a great challenge. Here are some hints. Number 1, develop real friendships. Friendship is a gift freely given. You have the right to choose your friends. Your choices should be wise ones. I've often heard it said, choose your friends. Don't let your friends choose you. Make sure you choose friends wisely. A good friend will always encourage you to do good. Always. Number 2, read about great men and women. Their ideals, examples, and experiences can inspire you and help you to find meaning in your life. We can learn a lot by reading, especially reading about the lives of the saints, such wonderful examples for us. Number 3, involve yourself in service to others. People who make their lives worthwhile and reach out to assist others are really happy. They are less tempted to use others, especially sexually, than people whose lives are centered on themselves. This is the O in joy. Jesus, others, and then yourself. Put others first. Help others. Do something for someone else. Number 4, be modest in dress and behavior. You are constantly giving unspoken messages by the way you act and the way you dress. You should always make sure you are acting and dressing appropriately. Number 5, watch your thoughts. Sin begins in our minds. Thoughts lead to action. If an impure thought comes into your mind, replace it with a pure one. Thoughts do become actions. We have to be careful what we are thinking about. Number 6, develop a relationship with Jesus. He is not only your model, but your truest and best friend. You need to devote time to getting to know Jesus. You need to share with him your dreams and your desires, and to give him your love. You can do this through prayer. I encourage you to pray every single day. Start your day with prayer, end your day with prayer. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Good morning, God. And just to imagine, he's there beside you. Jesus is there beside you through every moment of your day. Number 7, celebrate the sacraments regularly. The Eucharist can make you strong in combating temptation and living up to the example of Jesus. Should you fail to act like Christ, admit your sins and celebrate the sacrament of reconciliation. Jesus will always help and heal you. ER, Eucharist, reconciliation, 2 very vital, important sacraments. And lastly, number 8, pray to Mary, most pure, and to the saints. They can help you practice chastity. Mary is always the friend of young men and women who want to become like her son. We can always look to Mary. The Blessed Mother is just waiting for us to come to her and let her mother us. This ends chapter 24. Thanks for listening.